So, good morning, everyone, and welcome to a new week. It's a bit snowy actually outside my window. I don't know about you, Diego. It looks like a little bit of white on the rooftop
Snowy
behind
actually
you there.
outside my window. I don't know.
Yesterday, much
Yep,
more.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Today
But here,
we keep the ice.
yeah, that's oh yeah, that's the problem with south of Sweden. Today we are running into our projects, or we are starting with the projects, working with the projects, and I will we will get into some questions about that. I needed to introduce a tool or present a tool. Niklas doesn't want it, but I will do it anyway.
Yeah, you
So
will.
because I've talked about this in different forums, and I've showed it to the first grade students, and now I will show you. You have probably heard of it by now since it's been out since Friday, but it's generating a lot of buzz, and I'm of course talking about the Chat GPT. That is the updated version of the GPT-3. I'm not used to saying that in English. And was released openly Friday, and you can just create an account on openai.com. And I have had talks about this now this week. We have had interviews with Göteborgs-Posten. My colleague Frederick was in Göteborgs-Posten yesterday or today, I think, actually, in an article about this. And it's basically a trained language model that you can use for asking questions and working with text and writing essays and even writing fully theses. Most you can write whatever that is text. You can write it. You can write tweets, you can write Facebook posts, LinkedIn posts, you can write recipes, you can write presentations, you can write speeches, whatever you can think of. And I mean, I just want to present the tool so that you know that it's out there. And I mean, this will be a tool I think that we will use in the future. And from starting right now. But I mean, like all tools, it has its limitations, and it's not like a one fixed solution for everything. But just to I mean, how could we use it in this course? So what is a load balancer in OpenStack? Should probably not be. Sometimes it's a bit overloaded, especially now in the mornings. So we will see if it gives us an answer. It's really slow in the mornings, so I think many are trying it out in the mornings. It's spreading on workplaces. So maybe not. That was a short demo. Niklas is happy. but
Have you done
but
anything else this week?
yeah, no, I've been working a bit with this actually this week. I've been doing other stuff as well. But the nice part with this tool is that you can start to ask it question. You can work with your text. You can start like, okay, so if I have a load balance in OpenStack, could I combine it in any way with Kubernetes? And then you will get, yeah, you can do this and that. And okay, do you have a solution for this problem? So you can actually talk to this chat, and that's really, really nice. Now it's totally dead, so that's unfortunate. Yeah,
but can you trust what it says?
no, you cannot. I mean, you need
Actually,
you need to verify.
yeah.
You need to verify. But I mean, I asked it in another course. I asked it to just write a web component. Yeah, so now we get something to work with at least. In OpenStack load balancer is a service distributed. And this seems pretty solid. But the fun thing with this is that you can start to like rewrite in pirate language. and then it will like start to it knows a lot, so it can, you can write in Swedish if you like. Now I'm just using it in English, but it's really slow now, so yeah, let's skip it. But what I want to say is try it, because this is a tool that will be just as useful as any spelling control in Word for writing text and working with text. The thing is that, I mean, it's always generated text. So this text has never been written. You can try to Google this text and you will not find it anywhere. It's a new text. So it's always unique content that is created. Of course, this could be used for good and bad. We try to use it for good. That's like a good thing, I think.
Yeah.
Slow in the morning, so try it out in the afternoon. But then US wakes up and then it's slow again. Another occurred. Please contact support. Yeah.
Maybe they don't have a load balancer.
They probably have. I think I read that they got over. It opened Friday. In 4 days, they had over 1 million users, and it's just continuing. I think it's more or less exponential. And I need to say that, well, I mean, a lot have happened in 6 months. So 6 months ago, we used the GPT-2, the predecessor to this model. We used that for writing a speech in the Castle Frederick had that speech for his class when they ended, and it was kind of fun because it was pretty bad.
It was very bad.
Yeah, it was like, and it was in English because it didn't support Swedish. Now, if he were to do the same thing all over again in Swedish, he could have that speech right off without any modifications, and it will be, no one will know that it was written by an AI. So that's how far we have come in 6 months. So what happens in a year, 2 years? It's really, really going fast. And as I said, I used it to write web components, simple web components. Looked legit when I looked at them.
Yeah.
Okay,
yeah.
I would have structured the code a little bit different, but I mean, it worked.
Yeah, but that was really impressive. Yeah. But it was fun when we gave it a task we knew that there were no solution to. Then it just
gave a bullshit solution.
Yeah, just gave us something. Yeah, use this library that doesn't exist in real life, and it will solve your problems.
Yeah, we got really, really positive for a bit, but there is library like that.
Yeah.
So, no, there isn't.
No.
But it's a good thing. Then you should write that library.
Probably. Yeah, you should.
Yeah. Okay, have you tried that out at all, Diego? Nope. I recommend, as I said.
I have read about it, about its existence, but I have not signed up.
No, but please go ahead. We have posted a recording as well, me and Frederick, where we show different use cases, so you can have a look at that if it's slow like it is this morning. So getting over to this course then, where are we? We are working with the project. Some question marks has arrived or been raised. Some questions. Let's see. So first of all, yeah, we had a discussion about volumes, Diego, and I mean, there are volume support in OpenStack, and I've talked to a bunch of people in the departments that have tried to set that up. And yes, in theory, it should you should be able to use the volumes in OpenStack by installing a OpenStack, could we say plugin? But yeah, OpenStack tool into the Kubernetes cluster. Then the Kubernetes cluster should be able to connect to OpenStack. I haven't tried it out yet. If you install that tool, it should probably also be you should be able using that tool to automatically create the load balancers for things like ingress servers. However, those who have tried have gave up and just defaulted back to other methods. And for load balancers, they have defaulted to open the node port, just as we have done. Open a node port and connect the load balancer to the node port. And those who have tried to work with the volumes have instead created an instance and used that instance as the storage area instead. And I think, Diego, you said to me that was what you had done in the past as well. So
creating a volume and an instance, attach it, and then the instance is the file server.
Yeah. So that is probably the easiest way forward. But I still have the plan to try to get this to work using some kind of plugin for OpenStack, but I haven't tried it.
But you can probably like use an S3 storage account or something else.
You can probably as well, but well, depends on what kind of storage. I mean, the database, you probably want a local volume or as local as possible for databases and cache service and things like that. But if you were, I mean, now we don't have that requirement, but if you were to store bigger files like images and video files and stuff like that, then you could probably rely on a slower, but on a cloud service for storing the data. Then we have Sebastian's questions as well, and I will try to real time. I will probably put that question into free and translate to English. Too many questions. Okay, so I need to do it manually. Sebastian had a question about that probably most will kind of need to think about in some way or another, especially if you're writing a more or less freestanding front-end application. So the question is how to kind of serve this front-end application. Sebastian provided us with 3 options in this case. Should we serve it all in the same cluster, like on the entry point for the web application, and then have our API services on another URL? For instance, say cscloud1.lnu.se, that is the front-end application, and then if you write /leaderbox/API, then you get the API endpoints. So basically we have one load balancer, we have everything on the same through the same gateway, basically. That is option 1. Option 2 was that the back-end service is behind one special gateway with a separate load balancer that serves the API, and then we have another load balancer serving the front-end application. So they are kind of separated in the same cluster using different load balancers and gateways. Second option. Then third option is to separate them all together and have the front end served from one cluster or server and the back end from another cluster and the server. What are your? I mean, Niklas, you have worked with more or less freestanding web front ends. How would you say it's the most common way to do this?
As your AI explained, it all depends on your needs. But in this case, he says that it's a React app in a Docker container. And when he says React app, I think it's create React app. So it's basically static files, HTML file and several script files. So in my world, those are pretty much static files that you serve. Number 3, where you need to host these static files in your own cluster on your own server, that's a bit overkill because they don't require any computer power to send out. You just like it's a 200 ordinary HTTP request, and all the magic happen on the client side. So it isn't very heavy to serve the front end, which only leaves me with number 1, basically everything in the same cluster, and behind like an Nginx, you serve the front end, and the same Nginx exposes the APIs, which the front end then calls.
Yeah, and we don't have the possibility to create subdomains on our URLs, but otherwise it would be really nice to have like app.cscloud5.lnu.se and then have API to separate them.
But I tend to avoid that because of like problems with CORS.
Because they are served from different domains, so they have different origins. Yeah.
So try to avoid it just to make it easy for yourself. It's of course nice to have a subdomain, but in reality, do you need it?
No.
But I really like the thing where you maybe expose everything through Nginx. Then you can control everything what's exposed in one point. If you start opening like node ports to different services, you don't really know what you expose. You expose pretty much everything. But by having like a front end in the Nginx where you expose specific parts of your application, you get this very granular control over what's actually exposed to the public web.
Great. And I mean, if you have 2 load balancers, then you will probably basically, I mean, you need to run them on different ports in our case, and that would be a little bit. I mean, we want them to be on port 80 and 443 probably. So it's better to divide them by using separate paths. In this case, I would recommend it for this assignment at least.
I don't see the purpose of different load balancers really. That's more headache as I see it.
Yeah. Of course, wait a minute. You can, of course, you will have different. Of course, I'm stupid. You will have different floating IPs for the load balancers, so you will get them on different IP addresses. So you will get different domain names. But then, I mean, then we're back to the problem with the course again, because then they are served from different origins, and then you might get course problems as well.
Yeah, and content security policy you need to set up, and
Yeah, but I mean it's pretty simple to do. So it's not like it's a big headache. But I mean just be aware that if you serve them from different domains.
Yeah.
Is there someone who has, because now Daniel is writing a question, someone who had been able to set up a external NFS server instance on CS Cloud and connected the cluster on the nodes using NFS to the instance? He doesn't get it to work. I'm pretty sure that is basically what Morgan is doing in his demo. So it should work. But special mount, it's just not working. It's hard.
I've never done that, so
no, need to probably have a look at that. And speaking of having to look at that, I plan to just add. I will just add a huddle at 1:15 today. So like just for those who want to just have a chat or have a problem with something, we could have that as a starting point. So 1:15 today, and I will probably add that for more weeks to come, just like an open tutoring session. So I will be there, and maybe someone else will join sometime. So
I will be there
but
also.
But it's totally optional. But I will add it to the schedule as well. I need to do that. So you can look in Slack. There is a big discussion, and it just because I used the GPT-3 for generating answers just to have a look, and I also wrote a song that Niklas will be on the stand-up today. So and that was of course the GPT-3 that wrote that song. So if you wonder what that was about, it's just I tried it out. Okay, so that's it. That's that. Anymore? Yeah, well, there is a faulty deadline today. I have asked it to be pushed forward. It was a deadline for retake on assignment 2, but that is not until the 23rd of December. So something was wrong with that deadline. It will be moved, so no worries. We will start as well this week. I will start to have a look at the assignments. We will have a kind of matrix for assessing that assignment. So we will start by that. But I think the deadline is next week. So still another week to go before we need to have all the assignment 2 assessed. Anything else?
Probably, but nothing that.
No, I think we can keep it short today.
Yeah, we had the meeting with design meeting last week. Did we have that after our last stand-up? Yeah,
we did. Yeah. So was pretty interesting. I looked at our drawing that we did, and it was actually a lot of similarities with what you guys came up with. So, and basically what we said is try not to overcomplicate things. It's better to have fewer services and make it simple in the beginning, and then we could divide and conquer if needed. Because I mean, there is always a lot of overhead and time for having a lot of services. Of course, it will take longer time, but at least 3-4 services, I think we identified. Yeah, I don't have anything to say.
No, I'm quite happy.
Yeah, Diego, do you have anything to add?
Nothing else.
No. Great. Then I think we will leave it by that. If there are no questions, and I can see no other questions. But to answer Daniel, show up this afternoon and we can have a look at the NFS server problem as well. I might be able to just read up a bit and maybe try something out here before that. And I will help Maria. We have talked separately, so we will have a separate check on her environment now. Maybe you can also help Niklas. We'll see, because it's Minikube and stuff.
Yeah.
So maybe we can see what the problem is there.
Absolutely.
So great. By that, nice to see you, Diego and Niklas. We will see you soon. Bye.
Bye.